Gnonnas Pedro, born Gnonnan Sosso, Pierre Kouassivi on January 10, 1943, in Lokossa, Benin, was a towering figure in African music whose influence continues to ripple across the continent and beyond. Known as El Maestro, Pedro was a cultural icon, a masterful storyteller, and an artist who fearlessly blended genres to create timeless music. His remarkable career saw him transform traditional Beninese rhythms into global anthems and cement his legacy as a pivotal figure in the rise of Pan-African and Afro-Cuban music. Pedro's love for music began early, growing up in a family that celebrated traditional Beninese folklore. Surrounded by the hypnotic rhythms of Agbaja, Sato, and Chinkume, Pedro developed an affinity for his country's rich musical heritage. However, the arrival of Afro-Cuban music in West Africa during the mid-20th century ignited a creative spark in the young artist. Inspired by artists like Benny Moré and Arsenio Rodriguez, Pedro dreamed of merging these imported sounds with the traditional beats of his homeland. Pedro began his musical journey in the 1960s, joining Los Panchos de Cotonou, one of Benin's earliest Afro-Cuban-inspired bands. His rich, velvety voice and magnetic stage presence quickly earned him a reputation as a force to be reckoned with. But Pedro wasn't content with imitation. He sought to innovate. Drawing from his roots, he began to incorporate local Beninese rhythms and languages into Afro-Cuban music, creating a unique fusion that would become his signature style. In the 1970s, Pedro's career took a leap forward when he became the lead vocalist of the Black Santiago, one of Benin's most celebrated orchestras. Under his leadership, the group became a powerhouse, churning out hits that resonated across West Africa. Songs like Daje Von Ofon Non and Von Ofon Non were vibrant celebrations of African culture, blending the infectious grooves of highlife, Afrobeat, and salsa. Pedro's ability to seamlessly weave traditional folklore into contemporary sounds made him a standout artist of his time. Pedro's unique style quickly caught the attention of music lovers and collaborators beyond Benin's borders. His mastery of Afro-Cuban music led him to explore new opportunities, including his eventual collaboration with one of Africa's most iconic musical collectives, Africando. This was a turning point in Pedro's career, as it allowed him to showcase his talents to a global audience. Africando, formed in 1992, was a groundbreaking Afro-salsa group that sought to bridge the gap between African and Latin American music. Comprising artists from Senegal, Guinea, Benin, and beyond, Africando became a symbol of Pan-African unity and cultural exchange. When Pedro joined the group in 1995, he brought his unmistakable voice, charismatic energy, and vast experience to the collective. His ability to blend Afro-Cuban rhythms with traditional African styles enriched Africando's sound, earning the group widespread acclaim. Pedro's tenure with Africando saw him record and perform on several iconic albums, including Gombo Salsa and Mandali. His contributions, such as the unforgettable Gnonnan, became instant classics, celebrated for their intricate rhythms and poignant storytelling. Pedro's involvement elevated Africando to new heights, helping them capture the hearts of audiences far beyond Africa, particularly in Europe and Latin America. While Africando brought Pedro international fame, he never abandoned his roots. His solo work remained deeply connected to Beninese culture as he continued to celebrate the rhythms and stories of his homeland. Songs like Yiri Yiri Boom and La Musica and Verite showcased his ability to convey universal truths through local languages and traditions. Pedro was more than an entertainer. He was a cultural ambassador, introducing Beninese folklore to the world while highlighting the shared heritage of African and Latin music. Pedro's music was not only about joy and rhythm, it was also a powerful tool for education and advocacy. His lyrics often tackled social issues, from unity and cultural pride to love and perseverance. Through his music, Pedro reminded listeners of Africa's immense cultural wealth and the importance of preserving it for future generations. Despite his fame, Pedro remained deeply connected to his community. He worked tirelessly to support young musicians, encouraging them to embrace their roots while exploring new genres. His efforts ensured that Beninese music continued to evolve, inspiring a new generation of artists to carry the torch he lit. On August 12, 2004, the world lost Gnonnas Pedro to cancer. His passing was a profound loss for African music, but his legacy endures. Pedro's influence is evident in the countless artists who have drawn inspiration from his work, as well as in the enduring popularity of Africando's music. Our track for today is La musique en verite. Enjoy.
Je sors de ma loge comme devant vous, il y a 15 ans à Saint-Malo, quand certains disaient que la musique